The Indian government will present its last full budget on Wednesday before the country holds elections in 2024. We've looked at official data to see what progress the Bharatiya Janata Party (BJP) government has made since last year's budget pledges. In her 2022 budget, Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman said that India's economic growth in the current fiscal year, to the end of March 2023, was estimated to be 9.2%, the highest among all large economies, but with fears of a global recession and energy prices rising after the war in Ukraine. That growth projection was revised down to 6.8% last December by India's central bank. Even so, the World Bank has said that India is expected to be the fastest-growing economy of the 7 largest emerging and developing economies globally. International Monetary Fund (IMF) Managing Director Kristalina Georgieva said this month that India was performing better than the global average. According to government statistics, India's GDP growth was 13.5% in the first quarter of the financial year, starting in 2022, but fell to 6.3% in the second quarter as the manufacturing sector slowed due to higher raw material costs and energy prices. Dr. Aurodeep Nandi, of the Nomura Financial Services Group, says it has been up and down this past year for fiscal math. There were slips along with gains in the fiscal deficit. While government expenditure is looking to slip, it should be counterbalanced by stellar tax revenues and higher GDP growth, he says. India's fiscal deficit target, the difference between total spending and revenue which the government promised would be kept at 6.4% of GDP, has been maintained at that level so far, according to RBI figures. The target this year was set lower than in 2020, 9.1%, and 2021, 6.7%, as COVID-related demands on government finances have eased. However, the government's target to keep its expenditure to 39.45 trillion rupees, $4,800 billion, a £3,800 billion, for the fiscal year will not be met due to higher import costs and subsidies on food, fuel and fertilizer. India is expected to exceed its budgeted expenditure by 1.1% of GDP by the end of this fiscal year, says to Dr. Nandi using estimates by Nomura. The Housing for All scheme, Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, PMAY, was launched in 2015 and is one of the flagship welfare projects of the Narendra Modi government.